Hello and welcome to Route 99. This is DPM 120. We're looking at an RC today. The passage goes like this. As we study the cosmos, we can't help but project our own experiences, biases on what we see. So as we study the universe, we look at it from a subjective point of view. हम उसमें अपना bias, अपना experience डाल ही देते हैं. It's not the only way, it's the only way we know how to understand the world around us, and it is the only way we know how to understand the world through our subjective bias. But what happens when our perspective is limited, when we can only see the universe through the lens of our own human experience? But uh, but what if our perspective is limited? The way we look at cosmos right now is through our limited perspective, and that is why cosmos seem to us as something different from what it actually is, right? So that may our limited perspective could also limit our understanding of the cosmos. One example of this limitation is the idea of habitability. When we think of habitable worlds, we tend to think of them in terms of our own needs and requirements. One example of this limitation is the idea of like what is livable, right? हम कहाँ रह सकते हैं? What is necessary for living, right? तो हम जब उसके बारे में सोचते हैं, we look at it from our own needs कि हमें रहने के लिए क्या चाहिए. तो जो हमें चाहिए होगा वो किसी और को भी चाहिए होगा, right? We need oxygen to breathe, so we assume that all life must also need oxygen. क्योंकि हमें ऑक्सीजन चाहिए जीने के लिए, we assume that all the other beings in the universe also needs oxygen to survive. We need water to survive, so we assume that all habitable world must have water. So just because we need water, we think that all the other habitable worlds also must have water, and only the worlds which has water could be habitable. But what if there are forms of life that don't require oxygen or water? So this is through a limited perspective only, na? The author is saying that what if there are life forms who does not require oxygen or water to survive? What if there are other conditions that could support life that we haven't considered? Our assumption about habitability could be holding us back from discovering truly alien form life. And this limited perspective that in order to live you need oxygen or water, but what if there could be completely different conditions that could support life? And just because we are looking at it from this limited lens, that could be limiting our discovery of truly alien life forms. Another example of a limited perspective is the way we think about time. Okay, we experience time as a linear progression with the past, present, and future. But this may not be the case throughout the universe. In fact, some theories of physics suggest that time may be an illusion, a byproduct of our limited perception of the universe. So another example of this limited perspective is the way we look at time. We look at time in a linear progression के पहले past आएगा, फिर present आएगा, फिर future आएगा. But this may not be case throughout the universe. There could be some planet where this law is not followed. Maybe uh, time doesn't works in linear progression. Time doesn't pass in linear progression. If time is not universal, then an assumption about the age and history of the universe could be completely off base. That could make our understanding of history and age also out of place. We may be missing entire approach of cosmic evolution because we simply can't perceive them. The limitation of our perspective are not just theoretical; they have practical implication of for how we search for extraterrestrial life. So the way we understand time, the way we understand the entire universe, that is not just theoretical, but on the basis of this theory, we discover practical implication through which we can search for extraterrestrial life, right? And if this is faulty, this is also faulty, and so is our quest for extraterrestrial life. If we only look for life that is similar to our own, we may miss out on finding completely different forms of life. So through our limited perspective, we are only looking for life that are similar to ours, similar to us, who requires oxygen and water, whose time works in linear progression. But by doing that, we are just missing out on finding completely different forms of life. This is where the concept of Copernicus complex comes in. Okay, so there is this theory. What is this? The Copernican principle, named after the astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus states that the Earth is not the center of the universe. Okay, by that he means that Earth is not the most important planet in the universe. The principle has been extended to suggest that there is nothing special about our place in the universe. We are just one of the many planets orbiting many stars in the vast cosmos. This principle suggests that we are not special. We are just like any other planet in the universe. It suggests that not only are we not at the center of the universe, but our existence is not necessarily the norm. Not only we are at the are we not at the center of the universe, but our existence is also not a norm, right? Not a norm मतलब कि कोई benchmark नहीं है जीने का, right? There could be other ways of life as well. हमारे लिए अभी एक्स्ट्रा टेरेस्ट्रियल लाइफ ढूंढने का तरीका क्या है कि वी look at them from our benchmark. We look for planets which has water, oxygen, etc. On the basis of that, we assume that if it has oxygen, it has water, it must have life as well. So that is not necessary. Our life is not a norm. There may be other forms of life out there that are completely unlike us. So we are not norm, with different needs, different histories, different ways of perceiving the universe. The Copernicus complex challenges us to break free from our limited perspective and explore the universe on its own terms. It asks us to consider the possibility that we are not the pinnacle of cosmic evolution but just one small piece of a much larger puzzle. Okay, in search of the extraterrestrial life, the Copernicus complex demand that we look beyond our own assumption and biases. It challenges us to think creatively and open-mindedly about what life in the universe could be like. Okay, so this theory asks us to break from our assumption and biases and challenges us to think creatively and open-mindedly. हम अपने biases से ऊपर जाके सोचें, think so we don't look for life on the basis of our benchmarks, but we think of the other ways that a species could survive. By embracing the complexity of the universe, we can broaden our horizon and expand our understanding of what it seems to be alive in the cosmos, what it means to be alive in the cosmos. We may even discover cosmos of life that we never imagined possible. Okay, let's move on to the question. Which one of the following scenarios is unlikely to follow from the argument in the passage? Unlikely to follow. Air is one of the prerequisites of the conventional idea of life. What is conventional idea of life? Our idea of life. That's the conventional idea of life, conservative idea of life. So this could be an argument that this could be a follow-up argument, right? Because in the passage the author discusses that how we have benchmarks of life and how we look for life on the basis of those benchmarks. So this could be a likely argument to follow, a follow-up argument. Conventional concept of time may be a mirage. Could be it. Author is saying that only. Author is saying that just like on Earth, if time moves in linear progression, it is not necessary that would be the case everywhere else. So this is also true. The limits of the frame of our mind are both hypothetical and empirical. Yes, they are hypothetical, imaginary. That is what the author is saying. Break from your biases, complexes, right? So this is also given. The present definition of time ignores posterity. What is posterity? Future generation. तो उसका क्या लेना देना है पैसेज से? Why that would be a follow-up argument in the passage? So this is not my follow-up argument in the passage. Hence this is my correct answer. The Copernicus complex discussed in the passage may indicate all of the following except. So we're looking for something that the complex would not indicate. Human beings are not necessarily the most intelligent of all species in the universe. This it would indicate. That is what the complex is saying, that we are not at the center of the universe. We are not the most important and special species or planet in the world. The standard form and pattern of life has evolved in an amazing way. Okay, I don't know about this one. Presupposition and conjectures by human are not always conclusive. Yes, they are not. That is what the complex asks us to do. Look beyond conjectures, common beliefs and presupposition, because they are not always conclusive. The universe around us cannot be measured in fathomable terms. Yes, understandable terms. It cannot be, because our understanding is limited perspective, and they are not fathomable. So this also could be, but this has no relationship to the passage. How the discussion, how it suggests that the patterns of life have evolved in an amazing way. So this is wrong. Okay, on the basis of the passage, which one of the following statement can be regarded as true? True. We're looking for a true statement. The Copernicus complex is used by scientists only when there is a search for life forms outside the Earth. Could be it, but ऐसा पैसेज में लिखा कहाँ है कि they only use it while they are looking for alien life. The other possible life forms in the universe have different needs, and so they are more advanced than humans. Maybe they have different needs from us, but author has never said that they are more advanced than human. The definition of normative habitability discourages the spirits of unearthing something new. This is true. This normative habitability. We believe that everyone needs air and water to survive. This is normative habitability. This discourages the spirit of unearthing something new. So this is true. Human existence represent a microcosm in perspicuous manner. Okay, this is, I don't know what it is, but not our correct answer. This is our correct answer, right? Written in a very abstract language just to confuse you, right? So this is not a correct answer. This is third is the correct answer. By embracing the complexity of the universe, we can broaden our horizon and expand our understanding of what it means to be alive in the cosmos. Okay, by embracing the complexity of the universe, going beyond our conventional understanding, by embracing the complexity, that there could be other ways of living life as well. We broaden our horizons, our knowledge, and expand our understanding. By allowing ourselves to understand the complex universe, we are doing a service to our future generation. Are we doing that? Is that what the sentence is trying to say, that we are doing a service to our future generation? No. By welcoming the intricacies of outer space, human cognizance can be augmented. Yes, it could be cognizance is knowledge, something marked by knowledge. Okay, that is what the sentence is trying to say, that by understanding the complexity, which are written as intricacies in the option, we could improve our cognizance, we could broaden our horizon, expand our understanding. Seems like an apt summary. The understanding of the universe should be most essential goal towards the pursuit of knowledge. No, not at all. It has never said that it is the most essential goal. The complexity of the universe is characterized only by the possibility of the presence of alternate life forms. This is also not what the sentence is saying. Hence 2 is my correct option. So that was the video, guys. I'll see you in the next